a very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch powered by HSBC. I'm Priya Sheth, and here's our news roundup for the day. At an interesting fireside chat organized by PhonePe, AWS, as well as EY at the FinTech Open Summit, PhonePe CEO and founder Sameer Nigam and Cred's founder Kunal Shah spoke about the move towards technology amid the pandemic, the future of FinTech, as well as innovation. Another panel discussion was also conducted with top bosses from Zerodha, Razorpay, as well as PwC, which focused on the implications of the union budget on the fintech sector. A very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch powered by HSBC. I'm Priya Sheth, and joining me on this conversation is Nitin Agarwal from UpScalio. Thank you very much, Nitin, for joining us today. I want to talk about what a lovely run you've had over the last couple of months. 9 acquisitions since inception. Your roll-up firm has really been on a roll.
Thanks for having me here, Priya. And absolutely right. It's been a great sprint the last 9 months. So me, Gautam and Saim started this back in June last year, and we just completed, in fact, our 10th acquisition yesterday. So within a very short span of time, I think we have gathered together this 10 very bright, exciting brands in the UpScalio house, and now looking to grow them forward. So I think the journey has been very fulfilling. And just to give you some background, I used to be in e-com in ShopClues back in 2013. So used to work with a lot of long tail sellers firsthand, and therefore understood their challenges in terms of scaling brands. As solopreneurs, it's hard to get working capital, it's hard to get talent. And how do you face and tackle all the scale challenges which comes with business growth? And in my last role at Purple, I also saw the huge consumer demand explosion happening, wherein consumers are now ready and hungry actually for more brands and differentiated brands. And I think so. On one hand, there's a lot to be solved on these brands and on the seller ecosystem, and the other side, consumer is hungry and raring for more. And if you put 2 and 2 together, I think this is where the genesis of our business has been, that we partner with these exciting brands, bring them on board, and then go forward and scale them up to create multiple 100 crore plus brands. So I think the first leg of the journey has been super exciting, and I can't just wait for the next leg to kick off.
Right. We're excited about it as well. And, want to understand from you now, what's the game plan now? Are you looking at more acquisitions or are you looking at consolidating and or focusing on these brands as you build their brand journeys and scale them up further? So what is the game plan for 22?
Yeah. So it's a continuous cycle, Priya. I think we are kind of nearing the close of a first wave of acquisitions. And since October, we started operating. So it's been about 4 or 5 months since we actively started operating these brands. And also, so we have a dedicated M&A team, which is looking out for more brands. So the depth in the ecosystem is huge, which means there are more such exciting brands out there which we believe could be the right fit for UpScalio. So we are still looking for more brands to come and join us. And on the other side, the growth team focuses on managing growth of the brands which we have onboarded across supply chain, e-commerce, marketing, and P&L management. So I would say different teams bring dedicated focus on different aspects, whether it's acquisition or whether it's growth. So I think it's going to be a parallel stream of things.
Right. In terms of acquisitions going forward within the online scenario, tell us what sectors are you hot on now, and how many more acquisitions can we expect in this calendar year?
Yeah. So we are focused more on utility categories, wherein we see longevity in products, and we also see space to create numerous brands, numerous online first brands in this very, shall I say, label sort of a space rather than a brand sort of a space. And I think that's where UpScalio can come in and help these brands scale both on the consumer demand generation front as well as on the backend supply chain management front. So we are looking at doing another 10 to 15 acquisitions So by 2023, we should have about 30 brands in our portfolio.
Right, interesting perspective out there. I want to also talk about ecosystem. We're seeing so many roll-up firms now. Suddenly there has been a burst of roll-up firms in the ecosystem. Do you think that there is a clash when it comes to valuations because there are so many seekers at this point in time?
I would also say there's space for more roll-ups to operate in this space, because again, the depth in the seller ecosystem is huge. So, and you've seen a huge explosion of D2C brands coming up forward. Within beauty alone, there are 100 plus exciting brands. And then when you look at fashion, when you look at utility, this number only increases, right? And different roll-ups are focusing on different categories. For us, within utility, we see at least 300 plus exciting portfolio of 300 plus exciting brands or business assets which you're looking at. So there's a healthy pool for us to choose from, and I believe there's space for more roll-ups to come in, and also look at other assets, whether it's in utility space or other categories. So I think this is still very early phase in the India's roll-up ecosystem. I mean, if you look back in ecom, say 2012, 2013, there used to be some 30 marketplaces, right? The difference is vis-a-vis any other consumer sector, this is not a winner takes all market. So these are consumer companies which will operate these brands independently. And therefore, in some categories, we might compete with some roll-ups. In some other categories, will we stand alone. So I think it also shows maturity of the ecosystem, that now marketplaces have brought in huge demand, and that's why so many of these brands can scale very quickly and very well. And as they face scale challenges, they need capital, they need talent, they need expertise. That's where they find a nice home in roll-up ecosystem. So it also gives a good exit to founders who often start with a lot of dream and ambitions, and along the way, when they start facing scale challenges, they have a nice home to go to and kind of partner with roll-ups to grow forward. So I think it's a win-win for everyone in the ecosystem, from marketplaces to young seller entrepreneurs to say roll-ups like ours, who are keen on getting great assets and then growing them further.
Right. Nitin, tell us what kind of investments do you require at this point in time? Because to invest in all these companies, I'm sure there is a pool of resources that is required at your end also. So tell us, are you looking at raising a fresh set of funds at this point?
Yeah, so I mean, in this business, capital is raw material, right? So for acquisition, so there are always investment conversations going on. We are also blessed with a great set of internal investors who continue to back us even going forward. Without disclosing too much, what I could say is we are very well capitalized, and I think our investment pipeline also is looking very healthy in terms of how we move forward. So I think capital at this point is not a challenge for acquisitions, but yeah, we will. Many things are in the process.
Right. Nitin, a final question before I let you go on revenues. What kind of revenue targets do you have at this point in time? At the end of FY 22-23, are you looking at a significant revenue jump?
Yeah. So we are already about 300 crore plus revenues. And I think that's the most exciting part and most gratifying part about building a roll-up. And especially this model is you're not talking about valuation, we are talking about solid revenues, and you're talking about profitable revenues. So we are already at a 300 crore plus revenues. And even in the short span of time, 4 months of operation, we've been able to grow assets by a 30% to a 200%. Yeah, so that's been the kind of stellar growth which we have been able to drive in these assets we acquired with our expertise and with our unlock in terms of whether it's expertise or whether it's capital. So I think very exciting times. I believe we should. I mean, our target internally is to get to $1 billion revenues as fast as we can. I think that's the moonshot goal which we are all chasing over the next 3-4 years.
All right, we look forward to that, and we'll be tracking your journey across over the next couple of quarters and years. So thanks so much, Nitin, for joining us today. It's a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for your time.